What's up, y'all? It is naturally your braider, and I am back. I want us to look at these kid styles together. Oh my gosh, like Duchess Braids goes off on these kid styles, and I want us to watch them together. I want you guys to let me know your opinion and which one is your favorite style. So let's just get right into it, cause yes, here we go. All right.
Where does your creativity come from? So this is a question you guys ask me a lot of times, and I think it's time I finally answer. So as a disclaimer, most of the content that I show or styles that I show have been done before. There is not one thing that I could fully take credit for that I have created, because I really just feel like everything that I've done have probably been done before. So if I am replicating a style, typically that style comes directly from the client. They see a style online and they desire it and they want me to replicate it for them. So I would say about 70% of my designs come from inspirations that my clients see and want.
Okay, so real quick, if you are a braider that knows how to braid with long nails, let me know in the comments if that's you. Because listen, her nails are gorgeous, and I love the rounded tips, but they are extremely difficult to work with and braid with, in my opinion. I try, to do especially the like the cornrows and stuff. I try my hardest to braid with those kind of nails, but I've noticed that it's very difficult. So I really want to know, is it difficult for you guys? Let me know in the comments, because there are some girls I've seen where they have the long nails. And I'm just like, I don't see how y'all do it. Like, I really don't. But let me know in the comments if y'all can braid with nails, because it's a hit or miss for me, honestly. I can do knotless braids, but the cornrows are a little bit more difficult for me.
To do. So now when it comes to freestyling, there have been times where I've freestyled certain braids, and this just coming off the top of my head, but the freestyle doesn't come fully from just sitting and thinking. Sometimes you're on social media, you're scrolling, and you might see certain things that you like and you pull from those things. So if you guys are trying to be creative, but you're finding a hard time doing that, I would definitely say pull from inspirations from other people. It doesn't necessarily mean you're replicating them, especially if you put your own spin on it. It just means you're pulling ideas. I feel like every creative pull from somewhere, unless you're literally starting something from scratch. It's never been done before, which is very, very rare. Most of the time, these styles have been done before somewhere. But for this style, I did pull the first half of the style from somewhere, and then the rest of it was just me, just like whatever I want to do, I'm just gonna go for it. So yes, the creativity can come from start to end, but most of the time I'm pulling it from.
Also, let me tell you, that pinky nail is a great help when you're trying to stitch, okay? Because without it, honestly, it's very difficult to stitch braid without like long nails, or even the little extension clips that come. Sorry, extension clips, extension rings. Like, there's sharp rings that go around your pinky, your ring nail, whatever finger you decide to use to help yourself stitch. They also have those, but there's nothing like being able to work through the hair with your pinky. It's just a lot less messy, and it is more helpful, honestly, because that ring can slide off. It gets slippery and greasy, and just, it's a whole hassle, but love it.
from things that I just glimpse, or things that I might have saved, or things that I do want to replicate myself, because I think it's such a great style. And when I do replicate, I try to give the credit where credit is due. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that creator that you saw with the style that you're recreating even created the style to begin with. So sometimes, you might see a style that you love and you want to credit somebody, but they also got the idea from someone else. So you don't want to miscredit people. So that is where the creativity comes from. Sometimes it is you sit down in my chair, I'm like, let me just start something. And sometimes it's okay, I've seen this style. Let me go in my saved album and search through and see what I can pull. But if I am pulling something, 9 times out of 10, I want to put my own spin on it. So I will duplicate some parts of it, but then I will put my own spin on it if I can, unless I absolutely love the style. Then I will completely replicate it. But most of the time, clients come to you, they sit in your chair and they're like, I want this. And that is exactly what I give them. Unless they're like, well, you can put your own touch on it, then I can change some things.
Also, let me know if you guys replicate styles. So basically what she's talking about is like, do you give credit to the style that you're achieving on your client's hair? If not, are you is it an original idea? Did you get inspiration? Did you do your research, or is this just off the dome? Like, are you just coming up with this in your own mind and then you just try to um um execute it on your client? um Let me know in the comments if you're a stylist that feels as though you're original in all your designs, or you actually pull from different stylists and stuff, because I think that's interesting.
Things. But right now I have my niece here. Long intro, but let's get to these braids. So I have my niece here and I am doing 4 braids at the front. Do feel like I am mishandling kids. So that's why I saw the video a few times. However, like this style was so fun to do. I did, like I said, I saw the style on someone else. But instead of going up, they actually went down to the back. Like so I am now gonna start going up into a ponytail, but the style that I saw, it went straight back. So this is me just putting my own spin on it. And I think you guys are really gonna love the ending of it. I told you guys I was done with hearts, but I'm not. I got a lot of comments saying that we appreciate the hearts because you do them, but you do them in different ways. So you guys do appreciate the heart braids. So once I got to the back, I had the space and opportunity to throw it in there.
And I don't know if you see how she's starting off that cornrow, but she's starting off with the smallest piece of hair. And that is going to make your braids look extremely clean, like clean and crisp. So your edges are going to be nice and slick. All the hair is going to be in that braid. Okay. Nothing is going to be sticking out. No curly pieces, unless you decide you want to give whoever's in your chair baby hair. Start with the smallest piece of braid hair, because that's going to make your braid clean and even all the way through. And it's going to have the cleanest like braid from start to finish.
There. So I went ahead and did that. But right now we're just braiding up in a bun. I really don't have much to explain about this style. I'm just stitch braiding it. And as I'm just going with the flow of things. I know typically once you start out with a pointy style, as in the parts are coming from a point, you don't want to deviate from that. So I highly recommend if you're doing a style and most of them are coming from like a point, you don't want to go into a non-pointy braid. You just kind of want to stick to the flow of things. It just looks so much better when everything is coming from a point, and that is what we're sticking to here. So there's plenty of times I could have done something else, but I just didn't want to deviate from that point and going up into that ponytail. This style was so difficult on her because of holding her head in certain positions, especially when you're doing the back of the head going upwards. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, even on adults, to hold their head in certain positions. So right now she's doing absolutely great. She really didn't complain a lot. There was one time she was like my neck, and so I had to readjust her, put a pillow down, have her lay on a pillow so that I can get to certain parts of the style. But typically, like a style like this would take about, I would say 2.5, maybe almost 3 hours, just depending, especially if you're doing kids' hair. We did take a small break in between so that she could eat, relax, rest her feet, play for a little bit, and then we got back to it. But for the most part, these braids weren't difficult to do. It did take me some time. So if you guys are trying to like replicate this style, it did take me some time, only because it's like going from the neck upwards into a ponytail. Sometimes that could be hard on the back and it could be hard on the client. So, just it's not hard to do. I would definitely recommend this style. And I'm not going to talk much about this video because it's Braids video. And even though I'm excited for this video, I thought it turned out so good. This hairstyle was so pretty. There's not much that I can really go into about it. I'm just parting and braiding. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be quiet for most of the video, well, the rest of the video, and let it play out. But I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised at the end. And I'll try to come back right before it. Parting up into a ponytail, it can be so hard to change the flow of your braids from going up in this direction that I'm going. You guys see I'm going from the ear at a point to the ponytail. So when it's just easy to continue going doing that shape, that C shape, kind of going back up into the ponytail. It's so easy to continue that flow, but I wanted to deviate from it, and I didn't know how it was going to look. But it turned out so pretty that I ended up just parting down from the back. It's gonna come up in a little bit, you guys. So I ended up parting down from the back and turning away from the flow of everything, and it still turned out so great. That is it right there. Right now, I'm just making the center part because this is where I'm going to put the heart braid. But as you can see, that braid from the back or the nape going up, that's a deviation from the flow of the style, and it still turned out so great. So don't be scared to like change the flow of things as long as you stay, at a point, or just make the parts proportional. It really turned out way better than I thought I was, even though, I've been braiding for a while. Sometimes taking a little step off of what you're used to can be a little bit scary, but I think the back
Oh my gosh, look at that heart. That is so cute. That is such a cute hairstyle. Like, it is just clean. She's got all her points in place. The back of the head is so hard to do, like she said, because you have to position your client's hair. Sorry, you have to position your client's head in a certain position that may be uncomfortable for them. So if you are doing that, as you saw, she had like a pillow for her niece, and hopefully that was more comfortable for her. But yeah, achieving ponytail styles are probably is for the advanced braiders. Okay, definitely advanced, because it's difficult to get that ponytail perfect. And just the heart, everything is just so clean. I love it.
is just so pretty. The design is so pretty, and I'm glad I made that turn because I would have ended up just doing plain braids going up, and instead now she has a really cute design at the back. So this is the end, you guys. I ended up putting some strings on the ponytail. I put it in a bun. I put some colorful strings on it, put a little bow, and then I ended up burning off the tip of those braids in the front and putting the strings on those as well. So she has them. At first I was gonna put some beads there, but we didn't have any beads, so we ended up putting the strings there, and now she's gonna go to school looking like a rock star.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I love that. I love that so much. Let me know in the comments if you guys love that. Would you do your child's hair like that? Because that is just so cute. I love the glitter string around the braids. I love how she made the ends blunt and barrel wrapped them at the end. Well, I think she said she burned the end, but it looks like a barrel wrap. But that is so cute. I love everything about this style. Um, okay, let's go to the next one. This is also from Duchess Braids. She is so amazing. Okay, here we go.
Guys, DutchesBraids here, and welcome back to my channel. So my cousin asked me if
She is so cute. I can't even watch the full video. She is so cute. Oh my gosh. Look at her little face and all that hair. Oh my god. I don't even think she needs to add any hair to that. Cause that is just she's so cute. She's adorable.
to do her baby girl Cassidy's hair for her birthday. So that's what we're doing today. The style we're doing is very, I don't want to say super simple, but I do feel
Let
like
me
a
speed
lot
it
of you
up.
guys will be able to follow along with it. As you can tell, baby Cassidy has beautiful long hair. And immediately when she sat in my chair, I wanted to know what was her mom using. So I will be dropping that in the description as soon as I find out, because I do have to text her mom and ask her again, what are you using in her hair for this hair growth? Because I know you guys will be asking and will be curious, so that we can all implement this into our own routines. All right, so I'm unraveling her hair. Her mom did wash and blow her hair out prior to, so I'm unraveling the twist, and I'm just going to comb it out. And you always want to practice combing out from the ends to the root. Sometimes I go in at the root, wait till I get to like a point, and then I braid out from the ends. But if you're new to like combing or doing hair, you always want to go from the ends to the root. She has a lot of beautiful hair, and she is very tender-headed, like most kids are. My daughters are very tender-headed, so this is something that I'm used to. But it's also one of the reasons why I typically do not do kids' hair, unless they're like maybe family or something like that, where we just understand, because she's gonna be throwing down a lot of crying, which is fine and is as expected. So I'm gonna start with my famous middle part, because this style desperately needs a really straight middle part. So I'm going in, and this is the speed that I'm going. I'm getting ready to speed it up for you guys. So remember this when you see that everything is just kind of going at a speed and it looks like I'm throwing her head around in circles. Just remember this speed. This is the normal speed that I'm going. I'm parting her hair in. All right. So I'm doing the middle part, and then I'm going to go in and clean it up. And Cassidy does have a moving scalp. What does that mean? It means that when you part your hair, sometimes the scalp moves and you can get the parts wrong very easily, especially if you are pulling on the
Whew, y'all, that moving scalp, that moving scalp, that moving scalp, that moving scalp is a beast. Okay, it is for the advanced. It is not for the weak, and it is for those that know what they're doing. Okay. The other day, I had a client whose hair was beautiful. It was just like this, beautiful. Her hair looks a little bit more fine, but when I tell you, her hair was gorgeous. It was so long, number four, and thick, dense, beautiful hair, but she had a moving scalp. So it was so hard to part her hair, because for one, when I was parting her hair is so dense that when you part it, you never can get a straight part. You got to go over it maybe like 3 or 4 times to get those extra little pieces of hairs that just are stubborn, because it's so dense in one little area, um, to move out the way. So definitely understand her pain with this one. A moving scalp is difficult. to work with, but it is doable. If you know what you're doing, you can handle a moving scalp.
the opposite end, you're not going to be able to get a super straight part. So what I do is I lightly part her hair so that I can tell if a part is straight or not. And as you guys can see, I just stepped in front of her, and that is my way to see, is this middle part straight? Because when you're parting from the back or you're behind them and you're parting, you're not going to know if the part starting from the front is super straight. So you always want to step in front of your client to ensure that middle part is straight. And I had to straighten that part up because it was not straight in the beginning. So with her scalp moving, as you can see, I'm not tugging too hard on the sides, because when you're parting, you like to pull on one half of her hair. I don't really pull on it. I kind of just let, I grasp it a little bit and kind of just let my comb do the talking and not too much tugging. So that second hump on the other side is just needs to kind of be out of the way. And then once I part that first hump in half at a triangular part, I begin to start the inside of the heart. So this is the inside of the heart, and I'm going to braid it outwards, and then I'm going to curve around, and it's going to give me that half of a heart shape. And as I'm doing this, I'm throwing in some stitch braids because I do feel like this hair, this style looks great with more stitch braids. We're not adding any hair. As you can tell, she has really long, beautiful hair. She doesn't need anything added, and she's turning 5, so she really doesn't need any added hair in her hair.
So with this, I assumed that she wasn't going to have any added hair, which she doesn't need any added hair because she has a lot. But I think a lot of people do want their kids to have added hair for the simple fact that the braid hair protects their natural hair, and it makes it kind of last a little bit longer because their natural hair gets fuzzy fast, and the braid hair is there to basically combat that from happening. And the only way you can really combat that is if you tuck the hair. So like as you're braiding down, obviously on the root, she's not going to add any hair because it'll just be way too thick. So the fuzziness on the root can be prevented by just simply tying down your hair at night. But the fuzziness on the ends of the braids, you would have to tuck your hair. You would have to tuck it underneath the synthetic hair so that your natural hair isn't sticking out, and that prevents a lot of fuzziness. So yeah, I mean, she definitely doesn't need any hair because she has a lot.
All right, so when you get to this side, the heart is going to cross over. So once I got here, I ended up having to pull some hair out from the other half. So that is what I'm doing now, unraveling it, so that I can put just like a little snippet from the other side so that I can cross the heart over to the other side. So the heart at the end is going to be crisscross, and you're going to have 2 braids falling in the front. And I'm going to show you guys how I was able to attach them in at the end. So you want to stick around for that because I do end up sewing the ends of the heart together so that they can stay separated. All right, so what I'm doing now is pulling out a little bit of hair from that side because the end of my other heart, the other half of the heart, is going to end up on the other side, and I needed some hair to attach it to. So that's why I ended up pulling out a little hair from that braid. And again, I lined up the middle part that I did in the middle of the triangular part, and I did around the exact same size. So it's very important to keep some symmetry in this style. So that everything could look equal. So you always just want to double check to make sure that everything looks around the same size. Sometimes people go in and they're just parting blindlessly, and that's the easiest way to mess up on a style. You always want to take the time to just stop, double check to make sure everything is equal and symmetrical, and that's plays a big part in the style looking its best. So now that I've done the heart braid, I'm going to go in and start the first 3 braids that goes on this side of the quadrant. So basically, I'm only going to be doing
Excuse that airplane. It is loud. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but it's loud. So excuse it.
6 braids throughout the whole front. So on this half side is going to be 3 braids. So what I did was line this part up with the part of the heart. So the end of the heart, I lined parts up, and I curved it a little bit because again, we're doing 2 Mickey Mouse buns at the top. So I kind of curved it a little bit so it comes up, but not too much to where I'm going towards the center, too much to where it will look like I'm doing only one bun at the top. Instead, I'm doing 2 buns. So now I'm just putting some jam in the middle because the part is so thick that I just need her hair fully coated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this braid in the center of where the heart is. So normally you could either start the braid going straight across, but I decided I'm going to throw a triangle at the center of where the part is, and I'm just going to curve this braid around, and I'm going to end up on the other side of the part. So the part to my left side is where I'm going to end up ending this braid. So continue to watch as I curve this braid from the start of the heart, as you can see, and I'm going to end up not in the middle, but on the other end of this section. So this is going to set the precedence for those 2 buns that I'm going to have at the top. All right, so as you can see, I ended up on the other half. I'm not in the center of it. I'm all the way on the other side. So I curved it from one end, middle of the heart, and did it diagonally to the other side. And
So basically, what she means by that is this point right here. This is on the inside of her head, and then it gradually moves to the other point. So it's diagonal. It's a diagonal braid instead of a straight back braid.
then all my other braids that I do is going to meet up on that side so that we can start the beginning of our first bun. All right, so now for the second braid, I'm going to curve it from a point because I do want it to curve up and go upwards towards that other braid. And I also want the braid that is closest to the ear to also curve up and go towards the top. And I always put some jam in the center because we're not only that we're stitching it, but sometimes when the center is a little dry, the stitches don't lay as flat and it just doesn't look as
Okay, skip it.
so this is where I feel like could be a little bit confusing and difficult, but I do believe you guys can see visually. Sometimes I can't find the words that's best to explain what I'm doing because I myself am a visual learner. So if I was watching this, I would be able to tell, but not everyone is a visual learner. They need it explained as well. So I'm starting the heart, and I'm going to curve around, and the first half of the heart will end up on the other side. And I wanted it to meet up with the end of that top braid because we're going to be doing two Mickey Mouse buns at the top. And at this point, Baby Cassidy's a little bit over it. You know, she's getting a little fussy again. She is turning 5 soon, and she is very tender-headed. So at the back, you know, they have to hold her head down. My daughter, she hates holding her head down. So we are going through it a little bit. But now I'm going to part the other half of the heart. So now this is where, again, the middle part comes in handy because it has to be symmetrical. And you kind of have to pay attention to the size of the previous half heart that you did to ensure that these two are both the same size. And what I don't like to do is part it all at once, especially at the back. I did that at the front, but since the back is a little bit more complicated, it was just going to be a lot of hair in the way to end up parting the whole heart at one time. So I parted the first half, I braided it out the way. So now that I can see the part clearly, I can ensure that the other half is symmetrical as well. And it takes time, you guys. This was not done in one swoop. I kept going in and out. I had to back up to look at it. I had mama helping me look at it to make sure, like, hey, is this symmetrical? And so once I got it right, I started to braid. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I went also on the other side of her hair and I parted that side out as well. So I attached a part from the left side, the part of the left side, I met up with that and I attached that little piece up there, the one that I'm holding right now. So I did that as well. So this braid is going to crisscross at the top as well. So once I start braiding out,
So with that, she's basically about to do when she braids that heart all the way around, she's going to overlap the braid that she's working on to cross over the first heart that she braided. And that technique is it's so advanced, but it's so effective because it keeps everything clean, but then also you don't have to work through the other braid to actually get that other braid clean and flat.
I go do my turn and I go over. I'm going to cross that first braid and end up on the other side.
All right, let's skip it to where she's at the.
Braiding, you like to stitch on one side, stitch on the other side, stitch on one side, stitch on the other
There
side.
she
When
go.
I'm doing a heart and I'm going around the curve, I really just pull hair from one end, which is the outer line end, and until I get a full turn, and then I continue to stitch on both sides. And as you guys can see, I went across the first braid, and now I am all the way on the other side of her head, and the heart is complete. So now that the heart is complete, it's still not going to be an easy journey because we're at the back of her head. So one thing I noticed is that sometimes the hair will kind of start to fuzz up. So you do want to go back in with a blow dryer. And this is going to help with the pain of braiding their hair is that if they have natural hair, sometimes along the process of braiding, the hair gets a little bit more tangled. And even though she came with it already blow dried out really well, once you start braiding and you start putting gel and all that stuff in the hair, it does get a little bit puffed up and a little bit more tangled. And so to eliminate her having more pain while braiding, I like to stop and just blow the hair out a little bit straighter so that once I start braiding and I'm pulling and I'm like crisscrossing the hair and pulling out, it's not getting tangled up and causing more pain for
Okay.
a toddler or even for adults. So sometimes you do enjoy the hair just kind of hanging in the center of their face like that. So what I want you guys to do is when you are sewing the ends of the braids together, you want to go along the heart and also sew the end of the hair a little bit attached to the heart, just so that the hair separates a little bit more out of the face. So if I had pulled that the end of the hair back a little bit and attached it to the end of the heart up some, guys.
Okay, so she's right now she's sewing the heart together because these little bangs right here will end up just coming straight down if she doesn't do that. So she has to sew it together so that it can frame her face rather than be in her face.
Just bear with me here, which find the words. So if I attach the end of the braid to the heart a little bit, the hair with the dangling ends would separate a little bit more out of her face. Although I know, like for my daughter, she just ends up attaching, whenever I do beads in front of her head like that, she'll just pull the hair back behind her ears. So as you can see, Cassidy's pulling on those ends, but I wish I had attached it more to the braid so that they separated. When they fell, it didn't fall center in her face like that. They would kind of fall on the sides. But as you can see, she can tuck them behind her ear. So her day to day is probably with them tucked behind her ear. But if they're doing like a cute picture,
Oh my gosh, let's go back. Let's go back. That look at that beautiful face. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. I love the hair. I'm gonna mute that so I can play the rest so I can play the end. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Look at that. That is such a cute style, you guys. Like, let me know in the comments if you would do this for your daughter. Like, that is just so cute. I love that. Absolutely love that. Oh my gosh. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 and 10 and 10. And even more 10. I absolutely love that. That's so cute. Okay. Next video. we go.
Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Duchess Braids here, and I'm here to show you this beautiful style that I just did on my youngest daughter. It looks absolutely amazing, and I know my mamas are gonna eat this.
Oh my gosh. First of all, she's already getting right into it. She's already given us the finished product before the instructional video. And that is just so cute, you guys. I love that. I absolutely love that. It's like a basket weave in the back. It is so cute. Okay, let's see how she does
This
it.
one up because listen, this style just looked so cute. So first and foremost, her hair is freshly washed, and I'm gonna show you guys what I used to keep her hair
Okay.
moisturized.
So
The first thing I had was the Carol's Daughter's Goddess Strength. This is their leave-in conditioner, and the second bottle was the Mayel's Rosemary Mint. And I mixed those two together, and I put it in her hair before I blow dry it out and get it ready for styling. I want her hair to stay moisturized throughout the entire style, so that is a
okay,
combination that
let's
I use
go
that typically keeps her hair
to
moisturized for
right
a
when
really long
she's
time. So I do heavily
braiding.
diagonal, and basically it's half of a triangle. So once I'm done, that first part that I made is basically it's a triangle itself, but it's also half of another triangle that's gonna go on the other side. So now I parted out from where her hairline is indented, and I kind of brought it down. I made a part
Okay, so if you guys missed it, basically what she did is she parted the first half. She parted half of her head so that she can um make the braids go back and then have it in a ponytail in the back.
right there at the side, and now I'm just gonna braid that braid back, just like in the video. In the video she had two plaits here, but for me, like I said, I'm gonna put my own twist on it. I'm just gonna braid it back. Because I don't want the two twists falling on her face. She does have issues with things being too much in her face, but I am going to switch up the front a little bit, and I'm going to put two braids in the front because it just looks super cute on her. And as long as there's no beads on it, you guys will see. You'll see, and I'll explain it later. But I'm just stitch braiding these, and stitch braids just look really amazing on her hair. So I love to do that. It does take some more time than usual, but it just looks super cute when I'm doing these type of styles on her. So I always opt to do just like some stitch braids. So now I'm going in, and this is where I'm switching up a little bit. I'm just parting that out the front because I kind of wanted something to fall in her face a little bit, just to make the style more, just super cute on her. So I parted that out, and then I'm starting from the point, you guys. When I made that second part right there, you always for these crisscross braids, you want to start from a point. It always looks better starting from a point and not straight. If you guys get what I'm saying, if you go to where the middle part is right there, you guys see I started right there, and then these braids are going to cross over on top of each other. So you want to split each one in half. Put one out the way, and then kind of prep the back half. What I'm doing is prepping the back half, and then right now I'm parting that, and I'm starting at the front half. So I'm just gonna start braiding the front, and then I'm gonna cross over onto the left side, and you guys will see that soon. Again, just bear with me until you guys can get a really true visual of what I'm doing. All right, so now I've crossed over, and typically when I'm braiding like this, I get to the end and I braid out a little bit, and then I cross it over so that I'm not pulling on the hair on the other side too much, and then I braid it back.
So again, parting for this is essential because if that part was crooked or whatever, that braid wouldn't cross over seamlessly like how it is. So that's why she moves the other part out the way so that none of that hair gets confused with the hair that she's actually trying to work with.
And yeah, we just finished that plait, and then I reach out for the ones that I put off to the side, and then I do the same thing. I braid out, I cross over, and then I finish it out. Super easy. It's not complicated at all. You just kind of have to make sure like the hair is not too much in the way so you don't get them mixed up. All right, this is when I braid out some before I even grab the triangle. I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the other side on this side to make it symmetrical.
For the
And
bangs.
of course, you guys, she's
Okay.
moving her head. She's a toddler, so I'm doing the best I can. And the triangle in the middle is connected to that part, and I'm basically making like a diamond shape at the top, but it's all still separated because we're going to crisscross these over. All right, so that's how it looks for the first half of the braid, and then I'm going to crisscross over on the other side. Then I'm on to the next one on the other side. It is not complicated, guys, but it's always the parting. It's always like keeping things out of the way. It's always making sure that everything is symmetrical. That center part has to be centered when you're doing it. That first middle part has to be directly in the middle for this to look how this looks. So make sure I kind of skipped over that in the beginning, but you guys already know, like you really have to make sure that middle part from the very beginning is straight because that is
Okay, yeah. So what she means is this middle part right here, this boom has to be straight. If not, the entire hair design will be thrown off and it'll look uneven and it's just not going to read the way it's supposed to.
always going to be your guide. And then just going in the front right now. I'm just going to braid this hair to her side just so that's not falling directly in her eyes or directly in the center of her face. So I kind of like braid it off to the side so that when it does fall, it's like kind of out her face. It's still going to be annoying, but it's going to be out her face. So now I'm at the back, guys. I was supposed to braid the back, but this is where I got lazy. I know this all went by super fast, but for me, this is already like an hour and a half, probably 2 hours. We done took a break, we did a bunch of stuff. So I got lazy. I didn't want to braid the back. So I'm like, what creative style can I do? And I recently saw this done on a different page, but it wasn't exactly this. This is just inspiration, and I'm making it my own. But right now I'm trying to squeeze this small bead up here. It's not gonna work, but I did find a bead with wider, like that's wide that could fit it. So for my mamas out there that just want to try this style, make sure you get a bead that is super duper wide. Like, do not, when you go to the store, get the biggest bead you can find, because when you're trying to put two braids into one bead, it's just not gonna fit in a regular size. So what I'm doing is I went ahead and put rubber bands over two at a time on this side, and then I put the beads on top of the rubber band to kind of like make it stay in place. And yeah, I'm skipping forward, but that middle braid that's in the center, that comes in as three. Guys, I don't put anything on that. I just do two, two, then skip to the other side, two, two, and then that middle braid in the center right there that I'm holding onto, that is three braids coming together. You guys will be able to look and see. Again, my videos are, I try to explain them the best I can, but most of the time it's just to look and learn as you know, as you go. So of course that one coming back to the right, it needed somewhere to go. So I made those two plaits at the back so that I can connect those two together, and so that it just looks like an even flow. So it turned out perfectly, putting the bead on that. I did go ahead and slick the hair back with the gem that I was using into a ponytail. And then now I'm just going to put everything together. You guys are going to get a better look at these beads. But basically, it's a pattern that I made. And it's not as easy as it looks, because you kind of got to tug on it to make sure they're going in the right direction. So yeah, when you're doing this, just, you know, attention to details, pull on them as much as you can to make sure they are symmetrical and they're going in the right direction. And then I just went ahead and braided out the back into like 4 or 5 small plaits, and then I wrapped them all into a bun. So I'm not going to show you guys wrapping them into a bun. I guess I just didn't turn the camera on there, but I just ended up braiding out her hair and then wrapped it into a bun. So now I'm going to throw some beads on in the front, which she does not like. So we're gonna end up taking those out by the end of the night. But she ended up playing with them. But once they start click clacking in front of her face, she's like, I don't like these, mommy. And so we end up just taking those out for school. And when the hair gets in her face and it bothers her, she just tucks it behind her ears and goes from there.
So again, you see how those braids are super big. Honestly, me personally, I don't recommend um, putting beads that big on a braid that small, because that's going to put tension on the natural hair and it might make the end snap. So although it is super cute, it can damage the hair. So again, when your hair is becoming damaged, it's because there's too much weight on your natural hair. So we want to avoid that at all costs. And I'm glad she said she took it off, because I would hate for that beautiful hair to be snapped and split and all of that, because it is just so cute. Gosh.
But here is the finished style, you guys. I hope you guys love it. I am in love. I can't stop looking at her hair. I can't stop telling her how beautiful it is. I just really
Look at that. First of all, she is so cute. Her little daughter is so adorable. That is a really creative style. I would have never thought of anything like that. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is so neat and just adorable. I love that. Let me know in the comments if y'all would do your daughter's hair like that, because that is just so cute. And those stitches are stitching, okay? Like it it's giving what it's supposed to give. Okay. It's giving what it's supposed to give. I love every single one of those styles. You guys, let me know in the comments which one was your favorite style. If you haven't already, please join the family. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a video. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.